All right. Looks like we're live. Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday. Hope everybody's had a great week so far. We're only one day away from the weekend, so it's only thumbs up from here at this point. So, tonight, folks, I have with me once again the inimitable Dave Levine. And tonight, we're going to be talking about something that we both have in common, which is gigs. Dave does a shitload of gigs, and I do a fair number too. So without further ado, let me bring on Dave. And here he is, Dave Levine.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello, governor. What's happening?
Too much, man. What's the situation with yourself, sir?
It's been a busy month.
Oh yeah.
Hey everybody. I see everyone saying hello, 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 hello.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know
yeah, it's been busy. I've been playing. I do like 4 different bands kind of. I have all that going on, and then I teach a lot and
Right.
just been moving students around and trying to figure all that out. And then I'm doing a lot with my channel. I've added another show for Thursdays called One on One, which is an interview show.
I caught the first one with Mills.
Christina Wells.
Wells, yes.
Yeah. And so I've done, I have that coming on Thursdays, and I do my overlooked albums on Tuesdays, and so I'm just trying to keep something on the channel interesting for everybody, and
Yeah, that's cool. Let me just, before we get right into it, let me just say hello. We got it looks like 29 people already in here. James Severin, first one in. How's it going? Frank Corcoran is here. There's Hank Hill, Paul Liu, Terry Himes. How are you? There's Tim Seymour, the original Paramutant. The Dogpa is here. Ricky Compton, Paul Liu, welcome. Hey, there's Krellbar, last week's guest. How you doing? Ready for some action? How's it going, Krell? Quentin F. and James is in the house. Hey, Quentin, how are you? All right, just going down here. Upside Down is here. Welcome. Gussie Wells, Half Face, Ron Limber, Joe Hervey. There's Gurr, my fellow Canuck. Brian S. is here. Hey, man. Rob F. BC Rich 581. Nice to see you. Pooh Ninja's here. Hey, buddy. There's Dwight Bailey. Johnny Bean's in the house. How you doing, Johnny? What's up, Doc? Welcome, Papa Blue. And there's the first jump of the night. Okay. The chat, as you're going down, sometimes it skips, and then you got to kind of figure out where you were. Headstock Harem is here. And Daniel Horsley, Fruitcake Tony, Never Too Late. There's a new name. Welcome to the channel. Dan Beck, Hugh Caldwell, Dale Palmer, Wolverine. Everybody's rolling in now. Hugh Caldwell, hello again. BC Rich 581, Paul Guitar Music too. Folks, if you want me to catch your name, and if you've got questions for Dave, are you in the chat?
I can see it. I'm watching it, but I didn't want to talk on you. So
Yeah. Okay, so you can tag me or you can tag Dave, and we'll try to keep an eye on the chat and make sure we get to any of your questions. Brian says saying Dave should change his name to Devo Dave. I see the helmets.
Oh yeah. The energy domes.
The energy domes. Do they work? Do they give you energy or?
Well, I wore the red one to a Devo show. There was one at the Henry Fonda Theater. I saw them do the first album, and I wore that red hat for that.
Well, that's cool.
Well, actually, did I wear it to the Freedom of Choice one? I went to 2 shows there. It was great.
Hey, Robbie Johnson, how are you? So I wanted to do a show about gigs because, like I was saying to you off there, that's one thing that you don't really hear a lot about. You hear a lot about gear and this and that, but you don't really hear about gigs and all the happenings that go on around the gig, getting the gig, the logistics of the gig, the crowds, all the stuff, the whole things surrounding the gigs. And you were saying that you were playing with 4 different bands. So like for me, the first thing that I would think of, question for you, playing with 4 different bands, is how the hell do you keep all those songs in your friggin' head?
It's worse than you think. Because 2 of the bands are acoustic, and we play, we have over 100 songs each that we know and do. I do an acoustic band with Emily, and I do an acoustic band with this guy, Jim, that sings in the band.
Right. So you got 2 acoustics, and then I know you play bass in one of your other bands.
I play bass in a funk band with Emily, and in the other band I play guitar, which is like, we do all rock stuff. Songs you wouldn't necessarily hear at a bar usually.
Right. So you're no Mustang Sally for Dave.
No. No.
Freebird. Yeah.
Let's put it this way. We open up every gig with one of these nights, and we throw some Steely Dan songs in there. We play Billy Squier, a couple of Billy Squier songs. Again, we try to do songs you never hear bands try. We do Renegade by Styx.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I mean, so like we try to take we try to make it fun for people.
So what's 4 bands, like I get I've had in the past a hell of a time just trying to find musicians for one. Is there like a ton of musicians just kicking around there, just looking to do stuff, or?
No, it's, so 2 of them are acoustic, so it's a little easier and more mobile. And those I prefer because they pay better. Well, you can ask for more money for 2 people each, as opposed to the rock band. That one we book out almost a whole year, and the funk band is picking up steam, and I play bass in the funk band. And then I also do fill-in gigs for another guy around here that when he needs either for his full band or when he does acoustic, I fill in for him on shows I'm not already booked.
So what's the process like in finding people for these bands? Like, how do you guys do it? We were talking also off air, like the way you guys set up in your area is probably different than the way we find people in our area. So how would you find other musicians? Like, you want to put a funk band together. So where do you go from there?
Well, so the idea was when we started the idea of the band was who's going to play bass, because in the band, I think bass and keyboards are the 2 most important. I knew a drummer that was already very good, so I kind of felt okay about him. And then I was like, I can't find anyone that I think could play bass or that could adapt as fast as I wanted them to. Right. So then I was like, I'll do the bass. Because a lot of the funk stuff, the guitar stuff is, it's not easy, but it's just something that I think that could find somebody who's more stylized in that. Yeah.
Are you dealing with people you already know for the most part? Do you just know?
For the most part. And then I reach out to other people. There's a page on Facebook called Boston Area Musicians that I started right when I came back here.
There you go. That's what.
And there's like 1,000 people, and I just reach out and say, who knows somebody that could fit this? And that's about that.
Right. So you must have gone at some point through some audition process of having people come in and try out.
Well, yeah, we've done it a few times where we tried people out, and we were like, and they were good, but just not a right fit. To me, it's all about a fit, When I had my band, The Big Angry, in LA, we lost our bass player because he was going to move to Virginia to get married, and we needed a bass player quickly. And we auditioned a bunch, and we had a lot of guys, and I can't even remember some of the names, but I'll say one of the guys used to tour with Yngwie. Oh. And another guy played in a band called Prong, which I never had heard of the band at the time.
Yeah.
But we had a lot of people auditioning that wanted to play with us. And they were all good players. They just weren't right. Like, they didn't feel right. The feel wasn't right. And we went out to a club, a place called Paladinos in the Valley. And I walked in one day, and there was a band, and we went out as a band to go see another friend of ours band. But the band that was on before this guy was playing bass, and I said, there's our bass player right there. I could hear him in 2 seconds. I could hear his feel. And I'm
Right.
like, that's the guy I want to be on stage with. So we talked to him and he joined our band.
Oh, that's cool, man. Man, I wish it was that easy. Like, we've had the worst audition process we ever had. This is going back 2 years ago now. We were looking for a drummer. And how people find musicians here is we have a site here called Kijiji, which is like everything from selling tires to guitars to whatever. It's just sort of an all encompassing thing, right? And they have a section there for musicians. So you put in an ad, band looking for whatever, and then you put some type of material you want to play and all this. I kid you not, over the course of like 2 or 3 months, we auditioned 18 drummers. And of those 18 drummers, I would say maybe 2, maybe 3 could actually play the drums. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
It would be guys like, we'd give them a list of songs. So when they came in, we could at least run through some songs, right? And I mean, the stuff that we play is shit simple. I mean, it's not crazy. We're not doing Rush or anything like that. So you would think that these guys would come in and just nail it, right? And half of them would come in and they're like, "Did you hear that?" Half of them would say, "Oh no, I'll just play. I'll play along," and they couldn't do it. Like just a simple, basic, hold it down. And some of these guys, they thought they were like it,
Yeah.
and they couldn't play. Dave, like a simple beat, like it was excruciating, man. We just about packed it in because we could not find a drummer. Or then we have guys, this one guy, and we had this guy for a while. This guy hung around because we kept bringing him back because his audition wasn't bad. He'd sit there and he'd have a note paper, and he'd be making notes. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you going to make notes for? Like, this is, and then the next week we'd come back and he's like, "Oh, you're playing that different than you did it last week." And he'd start scratching out the old note, writing a new note. I mean, it's painstaking, right? Just listen to the song, feel it,
Yeah.
It was excruciating, man. So that's why.
Yeah, I mean, it's never easy. I mean, it depends. Like for me, it's about clicking. If you click with somebody, I'll make it work. If I don't click with them musically, I don't care how they could be. They could be the best. I'd be like, it ain't happening for me. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not interested. Like I said, we auditioned a lot of bass players, and they were great players. They just weren't right, and that's why I feel like I was. In fact, I ran into 2 of them like months later out and about in LA, and they were very nice. They were like, "Oh man, that was a tough audition." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, it's about a feel that. They're both, like I said, they're both great players. It just wasn't their wheelhouse of the kind of stuff that I wanted. But it's all good. I mean, that's kind of like what a band is. You find a singer that has, like, I mean, even if you're doing an original project, if you find a singer, eventually you're going to start writing with that singer in mind. How he or she sings, what's their how they inflect stuff, because you're going to write around that. Because when you hear stuff, at least for me, when I hear stuff in my head, I'll attach a voice to it.
Right.
So when somebody else then tries to come in and fill that spot, they're fighting something that you already have in your head. So when I used to produce, and I used to produce, and then I also used to do session work as a player. And I had a friend call me up one day, and he's like, "I need you to come in because I'm doing this thing for ESPN, and I need a U2 sounding guitar." And I was like, "Oh, I don't want to do it." He's like, "Dude, it's $500. I'll have you for an hour." I'm like, "I'm not interested." He's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "I'm not the guy. It will irritate me. I won't like the way it sounds. I'll bellyache about it. It won't be what you want. Find the guy who does that.
Right.
Find the guy who's into that. You'll be done in 20 minutes because it's his natural thing." Calls me afterwards. He ended up getting some guy who tours live with the. and was like, the guy came in and nailed it right away. It was his sensibility. And I'm like, there you go. And that's in any band, in any situation when you play with people. You know, if you're doing like a any type of band, you want to find the guy who has the sensibility that you share, like what you hear. And I'm sure that's how they, I'm sure that's how they found Ace, because Ace Frehley, as much as you love him, is not the greatest guitar player on earth. In fact, Bob Kulick might be a better player. I don't know, but he didn't gel with them the same way. You know what I mean? They clicked when Ace played with them, and they were like, he's the guy. You just know it. It's like when you play with someone you click with.
Yeah. I think that, I don't know, I think it's just maybe the talent pool here just isn't, it's just not.
Maybe. It's hard because no matter where you go, you suffer with people with Dunning-Kruger, and Dunning-Kruger is like the ability or the lack of ability to know that they're not that great, but think they're great.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I've had drummers that it's like they sit there and talk all types of game. They get behind the kit, and I'm like, really? Like, come on.
Yeah. 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 And the thing is, I mean, the musicianship of the band that I gig with all the time, I mean, we get by. Like, we're not, that's why the channel's called Guitar Hack, right? But, just even getting people at our level was difficult, anyways. That's you. I mean, you're fortunate. I'm telling you, like, you're fortunate to have that talent pool to pull from, where now we know the guy can play. Now it's just,
well, let's just say this. Hear my band first.
All right, we got some people that popped in. Let me just say hello to some more folks. Watchman for you, nice shirt. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I'm way behind in the chat. Bobby Clipper is here. RJ the Mad One. Hey man, I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. Marco's Images is here. Jack the Rabbit, welcome. Music Therapy Laz. Yeah, I saw you guys were live. Getting ready for the show. I'll have to check that later. Hey, there's Hank Hill. David Ennis is here. Welcome. I'm just going down. Janice is here. Axis 2084. Axis 2084 says, I'm awesome. I don't care what you say, Dave.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
Hey, Mitch Heyman is here. All right. So if anyone's got any questions, I promise I'll keep my eye on the chat and just fire away and just tag me so I can see it.
I sell propane and propane accessories.
Exactly. I was having a cigar earlier and I was using one of his propane accessories to someone freeze.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get any snow?
No.
We got like over a foot, man.
Oh, really? We've gotten almost nothing
Today
here.
was an absolute shitty day because it happened all night, right? And then this morning, the roads hadn't been cleared yet, and you're trying to get to work. It was ridiculous this morning.
Oh, really? It's been warm here.
Yeah, we had that up until yesterday.
Yeah, we got a lot of rain today.
Yeah.
But
all right. So what about gigs? How does the gig thing work down your way?
In what respect?
Like, how do you get gigs? Do you do the agent thing? Do you just go?
Oh no, I basically do most of the booking, and I just reach out to places either that we've already played once or from word of mouth when we play parties, and then it grows, and so now like it just at the end of the year, somebody from a bar will be like, "We want you once a month." Okay, we book all and then we write in the calendar the dates,
right? And
then I'll get another place calling me saying, "You ready to book out for next?" Yes. And so we do it that way. And then it's basically, I'd say about 75% of the calendar is filled out by November of the following year. And then I fill in shows as it goes.
So you're talking about you book a year in advance up to November of the following year?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, that's pretty good.
December.
of December the following year, you got 75% booked.
The whole year.
The whole year. That's insane. Hey, Upside Down, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's nuts here. I tell them I think it's crazy to do it this way, but that's how they like to do it. But and I leave spaces because, you know, during like when it starts to warm up, I'll get a million calls saying, "Can you play a house party here? Can you do this?" We do a lot of graduations, Jim and I, as a duo, and Emily and I will start doing more. So it's a lot of filling in those days. It does it by itself. It really, if you doing it right.
No, that's cool. Upside Down just did a super chat, $5. Thanks so much. He says, if you aren't sub to Dave already, sub to him now. He's great. There you go.
Thank you, Dave.
There you go.
He's Dave too, I believe.
Pardon me?
He's Dave too, I believe.
Oh, he's Dave too?
Yeah.
Hey, there's Merrill.
Hey, is Watchman calling me, DL? Is that for me? That's impressive.
Getting a Tonewood FX box for his acoustic FM gig.
I just think it's funny because that's what like close friends of mine call me, DL.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, maybe you probably heard Bingham because that was from our show. That's funny. Yeah, it literally changed my life. That's what that guy says in that commercial about that stupid Tonewood FX box.
Oh, really?
It's like, Christ, your life must suck. If your life was changed by this little shitty fucking thing that snaps on the back of an acoustic guitar. Hugh Caldwell, how are you?
Hey, Preston Smith, how's it going?
No, I did.
Oh, that's cool, man. That far in advance, like we thought we were doing good when I think we had 20 before the year started. We're like, woo, this is great. But an entire year, man. But then you got to know in advance what everybody's up to, right?
Well, I have everybody's calendar in the band. We work. Everybody works on Google Calendar.
Oh, okay.
So if somebody has something that is marked off, then I can't book it. Like, so I see everybody's calendar, and we try to be good about it. And if something happens where somebody can't do it, we'll figure it out how to get around it and how to fix it.
If you got like a backup drummer,
not really. No, not really. But we would try to book it either another day or move it around. But Google Calendar makes it really helpful.
Yeah. No, that's super organized, man.
Yeah, I mean it's good. And and like I got calls a few months ago from one guy who's a booker, and he books like 3 or 4 clubs. And I told him one of his clubs that they wanted us back. I'm like, we're not going back there. And he was like, what's up? And I'm like, they're just rude, and I don't want to go back. And so he was like, okay. So then he calls me a few days later, and he's like, hey, so we're going to book that club? And I'm like, I wasn't kidding. He was like, he thought I was just being like, trying to be funny. I'm like, I'm not playing there. I don't like those people.
Yeah.
They're just rude. It's like they always complain. And one time they complained that we brought too many people to come see us.
I've never heard a complaint about too many people.
It's insanity. They're like, we only have 2 bartenders on. This is way too busy for us. I'm like, oh, excuse me for promoting my band properly.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm done with them.
Hey, Ivan Carter, how are you? And speaking of the promoting, do the bars there, do they promote the shows?
No, not really. I mean, they put it on their calendar on their page, but I mean, playing music here sucks. It's, what's funny is, so, we'll go play a place, and I'm like, yeah, you guys, we pack a place, and I'm like, we want more money. No way. Other bands will come in here and they'll want, a few hundred less than you guys already. And I'm like, yes. And I've seen them. They bring nobody in here, and they're horrible.
Right. So
it's like the clubs try to perpetuate that. And then what they end up doing is for a while, they'll stop. Did you ever book one band? Hold it, Krellbach. Yes. Yes, Krell. That happens quite a bit, actually.
What's
Where FM station will have a gig or a funk station will have a gig and somebody can't do it, and then the other band fills in.
Okay. Actually, there's another question here. Guitar Hack, what's the going rate nowadays? This is Quentin James. We'd get 800 to 1200 per night.
Yeah, that's a lot better than what we're getting out here. But for parties, we do better than that. For playing just out, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's not that good. And we try to get better, and they complain. And it depends on if I really like playing at the place, but it's almost not worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. So you do your own promotion. Yeah, we're playing a bar on Saturday night, and I just got a text earlier that they didn't even put us on the calendar. So we promote all our own shows on our Facebook,
right?
Whatever, and we've got a fair number of people that are going to this gig because there's a certain part of town where we play a lot. And we'll have people that will follow us because it's within like 20 minutes of the last place we played, right? And we got a lot of them coming because in the wintertime we don't really play a lot because our winters here are horrible, right? Like we just got a bit of snow, whatever. So we'll do the odd show. We don't really go full tilt till like April, right? Like late April, March, April. So because we haven't done a show since what was the last show we did? I think we did one in January. Anyways, so they're all coming to this, right? So you know what I mean? It's like if you guys promoted it, it'd be great. Like any audience that they have, it's because
right,
because they don't really promote. Some bars they'll actually ask for posters and they'll put posters up on their windows and stuff.
Yeah, we have one place that does that. For the most part, we like when the AM station band, the acoustic duo, some of the bars really promote that. So we go down and we play in Newport. That's always a super fun crowd and it's always packed. Right. And there's a place in Ashland, Mass where we go out and they're really cool and like us and it's packed. And then some people, it's like, they don't do anything and, they still like us, but it's like, it's hard to bring people everywhere, Yeah.
And you can't expect to bring a full house everywhere you go. Right. The bar should have its own clientele. Right. The worst thing is like, and your job is to keep them in there for the night instead of, that's, but we might bring in the odd person, but don't expect us to bring a crowd every time. Right? Because people are going to get.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to.
They just saw you last week. They don't want to come see you the following week because you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's hard because at that point. But see, at that point, then if it's a place that I'm packing, I want more money. If it's a place where I go and I'm basically the jukebox for the people that are already there, then I'm happy going in and making $100 a guy. I don't care.
Right. A couple things. Visual guy is here. Welcome. And
that's funny, RJ.
Was another name that I missed, but there is a question. RJ right. The Mad One, Guitar Hack. I would like Dave to send me his yellow guitar to test out for a month or so.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Like that would ever happen. There you go. Yeah, let me just.
Yeah, I mean, when playing out live, it's just, and then you got to deal with like who's doing the sound. Are you doing your own sound? And we do our own sound, and I bring the PA. It's just, it is what it is. It's not the greatest situation. I always liked playing out in LA a lot better.
Right.
LA, they have much better house systems. It's way more about original material. So I'd be bringing different artists around. Like Bingham used to sit in with me. We did this thing where I would play with and the different singers who I've written for would come and they would do like 3 or 4 of their songs of mine that I did for them. And it was called the Dave Levine Project. And it got a nice little crowd. It's like a small venue that we would play, but it's nice. but it's original, so it's a little bit more. What's the word I'm looking for? Rewarding.
Right. Right.
You know, I mean, when I'm sitting here playing Steely Dan, like Reeling in the Years or One of These Nights, I mean, it's nice to hear it sound good, but I'm not like, like this is great. It's what I'm the, you know what I mean? I had to schlep the gear. That's what I'm
Yeah.
already unhappy.
Hey, Blackjack Guitar Nut, how are you? So, the bars that you're playing, what percentage actually have a house PA, and what percentage don't? Like,
Very low percentage has a house PA.
okay, so it's like here,
Yeah.
you're responsible for everything.
Oh yeah, and it's silly. I mean, there are places out here that have their own PA, and that comes with its own set of problems. But like I said, on the West Coast, it's way more. Every place seems to have its own PA for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, Krell's got it. When they have their own PA, it's either crap or the sound guy's deaf.
Right.
You know, it's like I was talking to on my guitar talk with John. We were talking about how bands get EQ'd and how when you play in a band,
the mix, yeah.
Why the mix is always fucked up and why everyone plays too loud is because everyone's fighting for volume. You know, they're fighting for that frequency.
Right.
And when you go play at a bar, usually you have a guy that really shouldn't be doing sound if they're running their own sound.
Mm-hmm.
And that's on both coasts. That's not just for here. That's even in LA. I mean, I remember in LA, I did a gig. It was the Big Angry. We were playing at a place called The Gig. And I walked up to the sound guy because the band before was killing it. I thought they sounded awesome.
Right.
Nobody everyone's just standing there staring, looking at the band. So I walked up to the sound guy. I said, would you push that kick and snare harder? Like, why is it buried in the mix? So he brings up the kick and snare. All of a sudden, you can see people's heads start doing this in the crowd.
Right.
I'm like, the mix is everything, guys. It's like, come on, get with it. But yeah, so it's, you know, when you're playing, if you're out there playing and especially in Boston, the places that have their own sound guys, I'm all set. I did a festival down in Falmouth and the sound guy, it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, your amp was too bright. I said, well, why didn't you? Because I was plugged in direct. I brought a line 6. That was a gig I didn't want to bring a full rig to. It was going to be outside. It might have rained.
Right.
And the guy was like, yeah, I just didn't feel like it. I'm like, oh, good for you. Good for you and your festival. Go piss up a rope.
Yeah. I mean, and it's a lot of work, man. Like, to bring your own PA, hook everything up. Like you're there. Like, I mean, we're. I think we start at 9. That's when we start playing.
Yeah,
we're gonna be there like an hour and a half before, bringing in the shit.
Okay.
Setting up the PA, and actually Saturday's gig. It's the first time that we're using a brand new PA that we just bought. So you know we're figuring it out.
Okay.
We're gonna mic everything, which we've never done.
Ooh.
Right.
Is it a big venue?
It's kind of, yeah. The main stage. So we're gonna be micing, you know, all the guitar amps and drums and all that shit. And we've never done that.
What amp are you bringing that you're miking?
Pardon me?
What amp are you bringing?
I'm probably gonna take the little, I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, you can't. It's back. I'm bringing my Marshall combo.
Oh, okay, the 40.
The 40 watt, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've got an SM57 and just gonna throw that on it. And so it's the first time we've ever, because all the other places that we've been, you know, we just straight out, right? But one of the guys in the band, you know, I went to see another band that does the same circuit that we did, and he came back and he goes, man, you know, like their sound was really good. They had everything mic'd. And it's like, you want to go down that road? All right. So we've got the bigger PA, more channels, and now we're going to run everything. So it's going to be we're going to be there extra early on Saturday and try to do like a mix. So it's going to be an adventure, man. Hey, Sandra's here. Welcome. And What's Up Doc is here. Welcome.
Yeah, I just want to say to the dog PA, direct can be crappy. I on this Line 6 Flex Tone, I did a couple of gigs with it where I went direct and had people coming up to me about how great everything sounds. I think it has a good amp. It does sound pretty damn good direct, but you got to know what to do when you're the sound guy. But I mean, I wouldn't direct out of like I don't really like those Mesa with a tube amp directs, but I do like if it's most people can't tell the difference for me.
Hey, Christina Smith, how are you? Yeah. And and it's a lot of work. Like you're there an hour and a half, 2 hours before the show, breakdown and everything else. And like you said, maybe $100 a man. Like,
Yeah,
that's a shitload of work. Like, if you're doing it, and I've said this to people, if you go see a live band and you see a bunch of guys my age, we're not doing it for the money. We're doing it because we love to play. And really, that's for me, that's really what it's, weekend warrior, right? Get out there and play for the folks and play the covers and play stuff that you don't necessarily like, but the people are going to like it. They're going to get into it. And, and we're lucky if we're going to get a friggin' beer tab. You know what I mean? Like, that's the extent of it, right?
yeah. I mean, it is what it is. You got to go out and like what you're doing. I mean, that's why I always tell people, like, when you go and you're playing and you're working with your band and you're figuring out songs, don't even fight about it. If there's a song somebody in the band doesn't like, drop it and find something else. There's so many great songs. Why have a bad night? I mean, I play songs and I'm like, you get sick of them, but the people like them. And yeah, and it's just, I've already learned them. It gets to a point where I'm like, when I play bass, I have to like really think for a second, like, what is it? Okay, I got this one. Like, I go in playing in the middle of the song. I'm like, how does the bridge go? And that's when I know I'm like, my cup is full. I am like, learning so many songs with all the bridges and everything else. But for the most part, I'll figure it out. I can.
Yeah, that's why. Like, I mean, we're up to when we pull a set list, we're pulling from. I think we're probably not at 100, but I think we're at about 70 or 80.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, that's
when we're pulling the set list, and
and how many do you do a night? 30?
Oh no, man, we do 45 songs a night.
A night?
We do 3 sets, man.
Yeah, you're doing 15 song sets.
We're doing 1 hour.
That's 10 songs for me. What are you guys playing? Green Day's catalog? I mean,
we're actually we do a fair bit of
oh, okay, yeah, because you're playing 2-minute songs.
No, we're playing. I mean, we'll a set will be 15 songs, and we'll go through the set, and then we keep an eye on the clock, right? We'll usually do like 50 minutes on, and then like 20 minutes off.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Some places, you play a little longer, you're off a little long, whatever, right? Whatever they,
Yeah.
But between 9 and 1. We're doing three sets, so we could play as many as 40 to 50 songs a night, and then at the end of the night, if there's anyone still there and one more, you might play the odd 1 or 2, right? So yeah, so it's a lot of playing. I'll tell you, it's a freaking workout.
Yeah,
it's a workout.
And well, yeah, if you're doing that, we do like 9 or 10 songs a set. 10 is the most. We'll do 9.
Wow.
And then because we're doing longer songs. I mean, we're doing like AOR radio.
Yeah.
Like we're doing yeah. And we'll do song like our second set is probably even longer, and we're doing like 9 to 10 songs.
We'll do like 15, and then we'll do like
15.
the hour, and then we'll take like a half an hour off, and then we'll do another hour, and then take a half an hour off.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a lot of songs. 45 for one night.
It's a lot. Yeah, we play a lot, and it's all got to be muscle memory. My worst panic is if I'm playing, like you were saying, and I'm like, Like if I start thinking about what the next chord is, I won't know it. If I just
Oh, there are times when I'm like, it's more about, for me in FM, I'm trying to remember, do I know the solo to this song? If I start thinking about like, where am I? Like, yeah, it just gets,
or if you
I'm
get
trying to
lost
think,
in the middle of the song, yeah.
what's that?
Or if you get lost in the arrangement, you don't know where you are.
Oh, no, it's usually, I just am like, there's a song by the Angels called No Secrets.
Mm-hmm.
And every time right before the solo, I'm like, which part comes first here? It's just, I'm always, and then I just play it how I hear it in my head, and I'm usually right. But that song always throws me in that part. I don't know why, because it's not difficult, but it's just something that I have a brain fart about every time we play it.
Yeah. I realized so much on muscle memory. The other thing I was going to ask about was rehearsing. How often you rehearse? Like my saving grace with these guys is we rehearsed once a week.
Uh-huh.
Every Tuesday night, like we just rehearsed this past Tuesday, and we had the set list, and we hit the songs that we haven't played in 3 months or whatever, just to make sure that it's there, whatever, right? And that you got that level of confidence when you go and you play them, because if I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about what's next, that's a guaranteed. I'm gonna shit the bed, right? My saving grace is also I got another guitar player. Like I'm basically the lead guy,
Yeah.
and if I bum a chord or whatever, like, or if I could drop out and then until I hear it again, and then I'm back in, type of thing. So,
Well, in my band, we have potentially 3 guitar players, because the singer plays guitar and keyboards, and then the keyboard player also fills in on guitar.
oh, okay.
So like, certain songs. So like on, like, we do The Boys Are Back in Town.
Oh,
And in that song, the singer doesn't play anything, and the keyboard player will play the other guitar parts. So we'll be doing all the double harmonies.
right.
The next song is Reelin' in the Years. The keyboard player goes to piano. The singer goes to the doubling guitar
Right.
in Reelin', and then I'm playing like all the main guitar parts. But
Well,
we have fun usually busted. If somebody makes a mistake in my band, I'm usually right on them. I'll be like, really? And we bust balls nonstop in the band. It's hilarious.
well, that's the one thing that you can't. I mean, the thing is, if you make a thing out of it, half the time the crowd doesn't even pick up on it. Number one. Number two, if you make a thing out of it, then it's like you just, it ruins the rest of the night. Then you become the other guy, or if it's I beat myself up pretty good already, so but you don't want to set that tone. Then you start thinking about everything you're going to do, and then the rest of the night generally works into a disaster. So, got some more people that popped in later here, and we got some more questions. Okay, I'm just scrolling down. Thanks for throwing the links in, Brian. Appreciate it. Thomas Santiago is here. There's Guitar Bazaar. How are you?
The original Paramutant. When you say Prime, are you talking about Autobots Unite?
How do you decide on the set list that balances what you like versus what's popular? Oh, and Freebird. Well, I'll post that question to you, Dave.
So what happened was, when we started this band, we decided, the idea was, let's do a band that does songs that nobody plays, because I don't want to go out there and play the same like, if we're going to do a Bad Company song, we're going to do Silver, Blue, and Gold. If we're going to do an Eagles song, I want to do something like One of These Nights, and I can't tell you why. We want to do songs where people are like, you guys do that one? Like,
right.
To me, that's fun, because as an audience member, that's who I would stick around to watch. Mm-hmm. If I hear a band and they're going to go stop playing like Can't Get Enough of Your Love and all the same songs that every band plays, I'm out the door. I have no time for that.
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, so that was the idea of the band. And so then when we came up with the idea, is I gave everybody a set list of my dream set list. And basically they were like, yes, no, what's this? Yes, no. And so we started with like 10 songs that everybody could agree on. And then I would make mix CDs for everybody, and I would put the songs that I would want them to do,
Earworm.
and I would earworm them. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, I'd get a call. Can we do the song by The Firm, Satisfaction Guaranteed? And I'm like, we sure can. It was on your CD.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, so that was how that worked.
Hey, Thrash is in here. Welcome.
But since then, everyone has made suggestions,
Right.
and it's an open. Once that everybody understood what we were kind of thinking of, then everybody did, and now it's like, the list is like a list of everything that people mention a song and were like my bass player brought up. He's like, I love Renegade. I'm like, I love Renegade.
There you go.
And then everyone's like, let's do Renegade.
Yeah, I like throwing in the one-hit wonder songs that everybody knows.
Yeah, we do that. Like the Greg Kinn breakup song, someone has that. We've played that a few times.
Yeah.
I don't like playing it because I hear other bands play it, but
but the thing is, so we'll learn them and then we'll do them. And then the problem is, we'll try to, usually if we bring new stuff in, we'll try give it like 2 or 3 gigs, see what the reaction is. If it has a reaction, we keep it. If it doesn't get a reaction, then,
Yeah, the problem with that is you play, we've played a gig where people react to things we're like, really? And then the things that usually people react to, they don't. And then another gig, the opposite happens.
Yeah.
Our thing is we try to play to ourselves if we were in the audience. So we'll do songs like we do an Aerosmith, we do Last Child, and we do the Jay Giles Band, One Last Kiss, and we do like Hall & Oates, Sarah Smile. We try to play a mix of stuff. Like we do Stone in Love by Journey.
I love that song.
So we try to play stuff where people are going to be like, oh, this is cool. I wasn't expecting this.
So let me ask you this. Are you playing for, like, are people...
I love that song, BC Rich. Y&T. Summertime Girls. Oh, I like Ride On too.
Are your folks, are they, when you play bars, are they like dancers? They want to get up and dance, or they just want to sit and watch the band?
Both.
Oh, you get both?
You get both, yeah.
Okay. Hey, Aaron Songs, welcome. Okay. Yeah, no worries, Original Paramutant. If anyone's got questions, like I said, just throw them in the chat. Like one song that I loved. I don't know if you ever heard of the song Turning Japanese by the Vapors?
Never heard of it. I got your picture. Yeah, of course I've heard of it. I'm alive.
So I love that song, right? And we learned this.
And what is Turning Japanese? What do you think it means? Because I've heard so many different versions of what Turning Japanese means.
I never put that much thought into it, to be honest with you. Just thought it was a song. Anyways.
No, I'm serious. Are you being serious?
I'm being serious. I never put that much thought.
Thank you, Janice. Krellbar, what about you? You'll give the answer because Krell probably done some deep thinking on it. No, I'm serious. Anybody?
Oh, he's saying it's about masturbation.
Who said that, Krell?
Krell.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Really? Never heard.
Yeah.
Of that.
Yeah. I'm turning Japanese.
Laughing. I never heard that, honestly. I just thought it was a cool song. That's what
I would make it's an orgasm face. That's what I thought.
Holy shit. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a cool song.
Yeah, Turning Japanese. And he's like masturbating to her picture, right? I think that's what it was. Yeah. Pulling and squinting. That's it. Exactly right.
Holy shit. I feel like a moron. I had no idea. Oh, that's funny. Anyway, so we learned it, we played it, and I love playing it. That solo is so much fun.
Great song.
And anyways, yeah.
We used to do Good Girls Don't.
We do that now.
Yeah, it's a great song. And Drop D, a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think you showed me the riff.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great song. We used to do, I love that stuff from 79. We thought about doing Sniffing the Tears, Driver's Seat.
Mm-hmm.
But we do, and Kiss You All Over would be a great one to do. But we do a lot of one-hit wonders. We do Crazy, I Keep on Falling, and I keep on falling. Keep on falling in love. I'm falling by the John Hall Band.
Yeah.
So we try to keep it interesting as well, and doing the one hits and yeah. It's interesting. Like we do Hold Your Head Up to finish usually sometimes at the end of the night.
Right.
By Argent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many great songs. I mean, the thing is, it's like you could sit and name a song, and if someone doesn't like it, name another. Like we used to do Photograph by Def Leppard. My drummer hates it.
Right.
Hates it. So we pulled it off the list just so we could stop hearing him complain.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing when people are bringing in, okay, let's, I want to do this one. I want to do that one. And it's like, the thing is, sometimes somebody will come in with a song and we should try this one. And then you're thinking, oh man, this song's not going to go over. And then all of a sudden the song like goes over every night. Like, oh
yeah. Oh yeah. We do Baby Come Back. We do stuff like that.
I love that song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we do called the She Sells Sanctuary, right?
Oh, that's a good one.
And that was a song where, I brought in because I wanted to play it.
Sure.
And I ended up having to sing it because nobody can sing that song, and I don't have a really good voice. But anyways, surprisingly, that song has never left the set list because every time we do it, it gets a reaction. It's just one of those songs. It's a winner, so it stays.
Do you guys do Shine?
No.
Isn't it the same song? Yeah,
well,
it's the same.
Other part to it. No, it's
the same type of riff though. If you learn one, you could learn the other.
It's a drone. Yeah.
No,
we don't do that one. Yeah. And there's another song that we do that always goes over well, and it's not that they were a one-hit wonder, but Split Ends.
Oh yeah, I Got You.
I Got You. We do that one. Yeah.
We do the Crowded House tune, which is the same singer. What's that song? We do Don't Dream It's Over.
Yeah, we tried that. It didn't work out.
Yeah, that's also Neil Finn.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good stuff. I mean, like I said, there's so many great songs. I mean, we used to do April Wine All Over Town.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, nobody does that.
Yeah, I love that tune.
April Wine, it's She's a Roller or Gypsy.
Upside Down, we also used to do Lunatic Fringe. We haven't done it in a while, but I bring out the lap steel for that and do the lap steel solo on Lunatic Fringe.
Yeah, Red Rider. Yeah. Hey, Laurie's Mishmash is here. And Tom Harhai, hey.
Hey, Laurie, what's going on?
Welcome, everybody. So, yeah, if anyone's got questions for myself or Dave, pop them in.
She's a roller. I like that one too, Krell.
Yeah. So getting back to so how often, like with the 4 bands, how often are you rehearsing?
Never.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
The last gig is, well, when we started FM, we rehearsed a lot. Once we started gigging, it's like if somebody has a couple of new songs we want to learn, we'll rehearse them. After that, the rehearsal's the gig.
Oh, really? That's cool, man. That's cool. Well, if you're playing, if you're gigging every week in, week out, you don't really need to rehearse.
Yeah.
We don't rehearse as much when we start going full tilt, but now because we're just playing once a month until the spring, we're rehearsing once a month.
Yeah. No, we don't. Like last night,
material too. So
last night, my bass player came over and we went over vocals. We went over harmonies. We went and listened to the records again and made sure where me and him were singing. Because the lead singer is going to sing where he sings. We just wanted to make sure we had we were singing the right parts.
Right.
And we weren't. So that was good yesterday.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Sometimes it was like there was some notes where I'm like, oh, that's what he's singing. Like, what was I thinking?
Justin Cox in Utah, welcome. Yeah, it's funny sometimes, eh? Like when you get down and you start digging deep, and you're like, I always thought he played something else, or because how you imagine it and how it really is sometimes is a little different.
Well, it's just in the harmonies. We were doing the harmonies to one of these nights, and it's just it's a 4-part. and there's only 3 guys singing it, but one guy's doubling up. So that was that kind of stuff going on. And yeah, I mean, we used to do Pink Floyd also. We used to do Breathe when I brought the lap steel out. We do All My Love by Led Zeppelin because I bring out the B-bender for that usually.
Oh, I love that song.
And yeah, we try to keep it fun. We used to do Misty Mountain Hop. We just try to keep it different. We do like the Logical Song by Supertramp. And we do the Bee Gees Nights on Broadway.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I've never heard a bar band play that.
Yeah. Oh, and it's fun. People get up and dance. And it's a fun band. It's fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's got to be fun for all the amount of effort, like I was saying earlier, to bring all your shit, hook it up, and
yeah. Well, the thing with the band is because we're playing, like, we do Bee Gees, we do like Sarah's Smile, but then we do like Billy Squier, and we do heavier stuff. We do Aaliyah from Donny Iris.
Love that song.
I have to have a rig that can handle all the different sounds. So I'm basically using a ton of pedals to try to get these sounds and play them. Whereas if we were just playing in like a Whitesnake tribute band, I could bring out a fucking amp and almost no pedals and be able to, because I had, like a delay and maybe a reverb, and then I could play, whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? With gear wise, like, people look at my pedal board and like, holy shit, man, do you use all these things? And I'm like, yeah, in the course of a night, I'll use all 11 pedals that are on my board will all get used.
Yeah.
Right? You all need them. And then I've got pedals doubling as other pedals, right? So like my chorus doubles as a flange, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, they all get used. I got a wah. Yeah, I use a wah. I may only use it for, what do I use the wah for? I'm trying to remember. Oh, I use the wah for I Got You. The keyboard part, I fake it with the wah, right? And yeah, it all gets used, and you need to be able to cover. I mean, you're not going to be exactly like the recording, but a reasonable facsimile, let's say,
Right. Well, we've talked about doing stuff like Stairway to Heaven and stuff that you would never hear anyone do it, and really do it note for note the whole way through. Like, and it's like, okay, so what am I bringing, a 12 string out now?
Yeah.
Are you out of your fucking minds? I can't handle bringing more gear. I'm like, so we've been banging around that idea with another guitar player playing the 12 string part, and there's so many overdubs on the record anyway. But
so what? Yeah, what are you bringing out?
Bring out for usually if it's a real like big gig, if it's a bigger place, I'll bring this Hot Rod Deluxe out.
Right.
And I bring out my 2 pedal boards, the one that goes through the effects loop and then the one that goes in the front.
Holy
and that's basically about 23 pedals.
Damn.
Yeah. Then if it's a smaller venue and I don't care, I bring my Vox Night Train out, which is a small head and a 1x12. And I bring out my pedal board that has 2, 3, 4, about 9 pedals.
That's insane, man.
And that's what I've been bringing recently because I'm just getting tired of schlepping.
Frank Corcoran is asking me if I use my effects loop when I play live with the band. I never use the effects loop. Everything goes in the front. Yeah.
Yeah, not me. I go through both. I do both.
Yeah, you put all the time-based stuff on one board and then
filters
the other one.
I put the filters through the board, through the loop too.
Yeah.
Chorus, anything like that. Univibe, chorus, flanger, tremolo, that all goes through the loop. And then
what do you use tremolo for?
What don't I use it for? No, I use it for we used to do that's a Wicked Game.
Ah, okay.
And I don't really, and I use it a lot I use it in Dreams for Fleetwood Mac.
Right.
He's got it's volume swells with a tremolo to get that sound that Lindsey Buckingham gets on that record.
See, the other part of of learning the songs, and I was saying before about knowing all the songs and all that. The other part of that is knowing what you're going to turn on for that song. Like,
Oh
if
yeah.
somebody calls out a song, because I don't know how it is in Boston, but here when you're going from song to song, you're like, there's very little time in between. It's bang, 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 bang,
Not
bang.
at my gigs.
What's that?
Not at my gigs.
Like
We always seem to take a while because somebody's switching an instrument in my band. Somebody's like,
oh
the
man,
keyboard player's putting his guitar on. This guy's doing this.
oh man,
The drummer's back there marinating a steak on a hibachi. No, I'm just kidding.
Another guys in the corner doing origami.
Exactly. For the question about what we use for power supplies, I use the Voodoo Labs Pedal Power Plus 2.
I use the One Spot CS12, the biggest brick they make.
Yeah.
Hey,
well, on my big board, I have three pedal power 2s because they only power 8 pedals each. So I have 23 on my board, and I'm using basically I have capacity to power 24.
Hey,
It's
Nicky
nuts.
Note 6.
What's that?
No, I was saying got a new Nicky Note 6. Welcome to the channel. It's a new name for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so no, we got like
Helixes are good. Nicky Note 6.
The the one chord is dying and we're into the next one, and I got the set list in front of me, and boom, 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 I hit those pedals, and I usually play one guitar the whole night. If I have a second guitar, it's there for a backup, or I'll play a whole set with the second guitar.
Yeah, bring a guitar. That's all I'm doing now these days. I used to bring 2.
Oh,
now
yeah?
I'm bringing 1.
Don't you ever bring a backup?
If a string breaks, I'm on break. I'll change it on my break.
Really?
I had broken I've been playing guitar since 1981. I broke a string once at one gig.
Really?
In my life, yeah.
I've done it. I usually do it once a year.
Wow.
Once a year I'll break, or I'll have a bad string that'll unravel itself. I've had that happen too. The ball end.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What brand strings are you using?
I'm no longer using Ernie balls.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I don't break many strings. Like I said, I did a gig in London, and the only reason why I think I broke the string was I brought it was on the plane in the luggage area, and I was like, it must be freezing up there, so it must have got cold, then warm, then cold,
Right.
and my string snapped. Like on the encore song, right before the solo, so I had to do the solo all on the B string.
Oh shit.
I just changed where it was like the whole way. I was working out in my head. That was nuts. That was probably, and I don't get nervous on stage, but that was probably the one time where I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do? And then I'm like, I gotta play it up here. And I just did it on the fly. And the funny thing was the singer afterwards came up to me and says, what was that face you were making? I said, what do you mean? He goes, I don't know. I looked at you right before the solo. You looked like you didn't know what the hell you were going to do. I'm like, I didn't.
You're just talking about London, and Patrick Burbridge is in the chat, and he is a musician in London.
Oh, very good.
And he's he's a friend of mine. He's he's a nephew of the singer in my band.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Patrick, I did a thing in Kent called Lawn Fest. I don't know if you're familiar with it. A couple of years back.
Yeah, he's in a band called
a lot of nice houses down there in Kent.
He's in a band called the Blue Jays, and they play all like sort of rockabilly 50 stuff, and they play like these really nice dance halls over there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no, the scene in London is so much better than the States because people actually go out for culture stuff. Like they go out to see live music. It's still something people go out and enjoy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I wasn't playing the Albert Hall. Not this time.
Victoria. Not the Albert Hall? No. Oh. That's funny. That's funny. Well,
But yeah, we played all around. There was a soccer club type of I think it's called the Bridge or something. Patrick would know. It was in London. We played that place too. It was, is it called Under the Bridge Club? It's yeah.
he's saying it's hard to get gigs though. It's a tough circuit over there.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't the one booking it. They just hired me to come out.
Yeah, and he was mentioning the D'Addario NYXLs, the other great strings. Man.
Yeah, I love them. That's what I use now. But at the time, like I said, I probably should have changed my strings in the hotel the night I got in, and I didn't. They were like, "Oh, they play great," and that was again. It's the first time Hey, wow, Hugh saw the Blue Jays.
Saw them in Glasgow.
Yeah,
there you go, Patrick. I'm friends with him on Facebook, so
I use stainless frets Watchman, so I don't worry about it.
Have you tried the other D'Addario that came out last year, the XT strings?
I have not.
Give them a shot.
What's the difference?
They have a very, very light coating.
Oh, they're coated strings.
Yeah, but you can't. If I didn't tell you they were coated, you can't tell.
Right.
They're just I don't know. Shit, man. I think I put them on Blackie, which is a Les Paul I play like all the time.
Yeah.
These things last a long time, and they sound great. You know how when you put on strings at first, they're a little bit too, for me anyway, I find them a little too trebly. I kind of like them after a day or two. These things sounded great right out of the package. So, they're about the same price as the NYXLs.
All righty.
Yeah, give them a shot. You might like them. You might like them.
I've got drawers and drawers of strings at the moment.
Yeah. Well, we're a little over an hour, Dave. You still good?
Oh, I'm fine.
All right, cool. So
everyone seems to be enjoying themselves. Everyone having a good time.
Don't forget to tip your waitress.
Right. All right. Sandra used the D'Addarios. Way to go.
D'Addarios, yeah. It's all I use is D'Addario.
They're great. They're great guys. They're a great company. I like them very much. And I can't say enough good things about them. I think the guys at Ernie Ball are nice guys too. I just don't care for the strings that much. I used to use, when I first started playing, I would use Dean Markley's.
Dean Markley's is all I used, yeah.
Yeah, and they sounded great until 2 weeks in, and then they sounded like shit.
They were dead.
And then I got the D'Addarios, and I was like, okay, these last a lot longer, and I like them.
Whenever I could find blue steels, the Dean Markley blue steels, I would use them, and I really like those strings. But now there's shit, you can't find them anywhere, at least here. I don't know if they're still available in the US, but like you can't find them here. They're few and far between. So what
are you talking about? Blue steels, Dean Markley?
Yeah.
Yeah, they sell them here.
I can't find them here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? We got the one big chain store, right? Which is like our version of Guitar Center. You're mentioning Lon McQuaid, right?
Uh-huh.
Like I'm within a half an hour of 4 of them. That's how many of them we have in the area.
Wow.
and then we got one other big store, Cosmo. But they don't carry them either. So those are the only stores I really go to, and I can't find blue steels. If I did, I'd buy a bunch of them.
But Kurt Mangan, someone's bringing up Kurt Mangan strings. I'm pretty sure that's the same thing with, like, is it Everly or Everclear, whatever, what is it? A lot of these companies, they make 1 or 2 SKUs of their strings, and the rest are being made by a bigger manufacturer, but they're just kind of getting into it. So they make a couple of SKUs for themselves, and then the rest of their brand is OEM'd. Cleartone, yes. So Cleartone, and I think Kurt Mangan is the same way, because there's no way they could keep up with production of a full string company.
I just want to
answer a lot of these.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
answer this question. Music Therapy Labs. No, you sent me D'Addarios, and they were 10s.
Oh, EXL 110s.
Yeah.
I mean, but like John Pierce doesn't make their own strings, and Fender, Gibson. You know,
Yeah.
those guys stopped making strings years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Over 10 years for both now.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
Dario
they
makes their own
stopped.
strings, that's for sure.
What's that?
The Dario definitely makes their own strings.
Oh, well, they make, not only they make their own strings, they make many companies' strings.
Well, yeah.
And so does Ernie Ball, and so does GHS.
Mm.
Fender hasn't made their own strings for I'd say going on 10 years, Krell.
He says their strings are crap.
Well, if their strings are crap and another brand you like, I would say you're not realizing they're the same brand.
Well, a lot of hate for Fender strings. Patrick doesn't like him either.
Well, when Fender made them, yes. When Fender made them last, they were making them in Mexico, and they were terrible.
Mm.
And they ended up selling the plant, and you have a set of an OEM manufactured set when it says made in USA on them. They're not made by Fender.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what it was like 10 years ago when they stopped. I don't think that's changed. Yeah, GHS makes their own strings. They also OEM for a lot of people. Like when you see like these boutique-based companies and they have their own brand of strings, they're not making their own strings. That's all OEM. Well, Fender bullet strings are... Fender provides the company that makes them the bullets. That's all Fender provides.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Just the ball ends.
For the bullets.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I've been on to Dario for the longest time.
Are they all... Hold on. Is Kurt Mangan all made? How big a facility is it? I only know they popped up out of nowhere. And they had a lot of SKUs. I was like, that makes me question it.
So, getting back to what we were talking about before with playing all the different songs and getting all the different sounds. So, do you know, like, automatically, I'm gonna play, like, if I called out a song that you do,
yeah,
you'd be able to call out just every pedal that you're going to use on that song, right?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, okay, you were mentioning you're mentioning Stone in Love.
Right.
So what are you gonna pedals are you gonna use for that tune?
So in the beginning of the song, I keep my weak reverb on, which is I have a weak and a strong reverb pedal. I have two reverb pedals.
Mm-hmm.
I go with the weak one. I shut everything else off except for my Angry Charlie. And it's just the Angry Charlie going into a weak reverb. Once the song kicks in, I throw on a delay. But at the beginning, when it goes ban, ban, and it does those chords, it's really dry with a barely like room reverb.
Right.
Once I'm out of that section, I throw a delay on it so the lead's cut.
Right. You mentioned the Angry Charlie. Don't you find the Angry Charlie kind of noisy?
Oh, so I realized about the Angry Charlie early on when I first used it. So what happened was I was playing a gig and the sound guy came up to me and he was like, he's a friend of mine. He's like, "Hey, dude, I'm selling my Angry Charlie." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I think it's better than the Pinnacle." And I have a Pinnacle on my board. So I'm like, "Oh yeah, let me try it." Mm-hmm. So I plug my guitar into the Angry Charlie, forgo my board, and plug right into the amp. And I'm like, that's the sound I want. Mm-hmm. I wish he was 100% right. The Pinnacle is not as good. So mm-hmm. I'm like, right there and then I give him the money. I'm like, it's mine. He goes, giddy up. Now I go and put it on my board. I go do a gig with it, and it's a noisy friggin' mess. And that's when I realized the Angry Charlie doesn't like to see anything but guitar signal going into it. so I put it first on my board.
So, have you heard of a pedal called the Sweet Tea?
Sweet Tea is Mad Professor, right?
No, it's JHS.
Oh, JHS. Well, I'm thinking of Sweet Honey or something.
So it's basically it's a tube screamer with an Angry Charlie. So it's two pedals in one.
Oh, yes. I am aware of that pedal.
Right. So my brother was here on the week. My brother's a guitar player as well. And he came over and he goes, I'm going to bring you the Sweet Tea for you to try out. And I plugged in the sweet or the Sweet Tea or the tube screamer part. That sounded fine. It sounded cool. And then I flipped it over to the Angry Charlie, and it was just fizzy as hell, man. It's like this. I go, I can't deal with this.
Yeah,
it's too noisy, man. Right?
I use the Angry Charlie version too, and I put it first on my board.
Right.
So anything behind it, I shut off, and when I use it only by itself. But I realize I need that sound. That's like a Marshall sound that works for me. As far as I have a problem with pedals that don't like other pedals. I won't keep them on my board. So I have an Animal by J Rocket. Unusable.
Mm-hmm.
Unusable. Just does not like to see another signal. I use the Boiling Point Rock Box. It doesn't mind if I put a compressor in front of it. It's nice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got a pedal on my board that I was showing my brother because it's like I'm like, if you want that sort of, heavy Marshall, I've got a Lawrence Petros pedal called the 87, and I A/B'd that, and that thing.
Yeah.
Dead quiet. There's no fizz. You get all the crunch without that annoying fizzy writing over top of it.
Yeah.
It's like a clean version, a better, cleaner version of an Angry Charlie.
But you play a darker sound than I would play.
Probably.
Much darker. Oh no, when I hear you play through your Marshall, I'm always to me, I just want to reach through my computer and turn your treble up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like it brighter. To me, I like that. To me, that's the Marshall sound, is that bright. I like it brighter with a Les Paul and a Marshall. I that's what I like about that. And so the Angry Charlie gets that for me. You could dial that back, but I don't. There's a pedal that I was looking at yesterday. You know the company Solo Dallas? They make the Schaefer replica.
No.
Are you familiar with this?
No.
All right. So back when they were recording Back in Black, Angus Young was not happy with his sound.
Mm-hmm.
And Mutt Lange was like, what's different from when you play live? What's different? We got to find it. Whatever we find. And he's like, it's the wireless system. I use a wireless system. Well, the wireless system had a Schaefer preamp inside.
Oh, okay. I heard this story before. Yeah.
Yeah. So now they came up with a pedal that is smaller called the Storm by Solar Dallas. And when I heard that one in the demos, I'm like, that to me sounds more like the AC/DC tone. It's a little brighter.
Mm-hmm.
It still adds the crunch. I mean, basically, it's like a treble boost. Right. It's the same as getting like the Silver Solo by Daredevil Effects. What's that?
By the way, that Silver, I'm still wanting that pedal, man. That pedal's amazing.
The Silver Solo thing?
The reverb blink, but it was sold already because that was a hell of a deal. I would have bought it for that.
Yeah. I mean, when you're playing an amp like a Marshall or something that has not terribly high gain, but like that natural gain, a treble boost really brings it to the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great, I saw the guy demo it too. I'm like, holy shit, does that sound good?
Yeah. All the guys in the 70s, they all used treble boosts because.
Yeah. Well, that's what Dallas Rangemaster, was that what they all used?
Yeah. But it brings that amp to that level, to that sound, and puts it so it cuts through a mix. Yeah. A lot like Krell's saying he likes darker tones too. You may like the darker tones when you play in your bedroom, But man, you go listen to the records that are mixed and you go isolate the guitar, it's not dark. You can think it's dark, but it's not when you hear it by itself, because otherwise it wouldn't cut through the mix. You'd be sitting there, going, what the hell is that? Because it would be all over the frequency of everything else.
Yeah, yeah. Well, usually when I'm doing a gig and I can't hear myself, I'm not reaching for volume. I'm turning up the treble. That's what I'm doing.
Sure. Yeah, which is smart, because that's probably what you're getting. Because like I said, you have a darker sound than I like. So it would totally just change where you are in the mix.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that
people don't realize that.
No, that Daredevil's, what's it called? Solo something?
Silver Solo, yeah.
Silver Solo, yeah. That's a smoking pedal. And I mean, there's your Brian May sound, Black Sabbath.
Sure. Right.
All that stuff, man. It just sounds great.
Especially into a Marshall.
The other pedal, that I use sort of, which kind of does sort of the same thing, is I've got an SP booster.
SP or EP?
Oh, EP, sorry, an EP booster.
Yeah.
I've got that at the end of my chain, and I've got the gain completely off. And that thing just does something to the EQ. It's like taking a blanket off an amp's the best way to describe it. Everything just kind of comes to life, right? I love the sound of that thing. That's an always on pedal on my board. Always.
Yeah,
on.
I took it off my board. I bought it. I got it in a trade with somebody. I put it on my board and I took it off. I was like, people kept saying it wouldn't color the sound, but it colored the sound. But I already have other pedals that are coloring the sound, and I already had what I liked. I just kind of, I don't know what I was expecting it to do, but it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of guys that love it.
It colors.
The thing is, everybody likes what they like. That's
exactly.
the whole.
It colors the sound, but for me anyway, in a good way. Hey Jamal, how are you, man? Just came from. Oh, Shane had a stream. Okay, cool. Thanks for coming over. Here, there's Metalhead Hippie.
Islands in Shane Stream. That is what you are.
Kubrick Lover, 1972. Welcome. Got a few more people in here. Terry Himes, hello. David,
if you use any pedal that you're going to keep always on is a great buffer. That works as a buffer. That's a
Jeff Miller, welcome. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anyone.
All right.
Get a Z-Vex, box of rocks, says Patrick.
Yeah, Zachary Vex doesn't do it for me. I never liked his stuff. I had a Sparkle Boost or whatever it was called, Super Hard On it was called years ago, and used it as a treble boost, and I wasn't thrilled with it.
Yeah, I mean,
I also did a NAMM show where he was next to me the whole day, and I spent the day playing his stuff, and it just I don't know. I'm picky about certain stuff. It's like when I hear it and I like it, I find it. If I like it, I'll get it. Otherwise, And then again, when I hear other people play it, I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. What are you using? Oh, I'm using the box of rock. Then I plug into it and I'm like, I don't like it.
Mm.
But it's funny because when you hear other people play, it's just how it responds and how you feel.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned the Wampler Pinnacle. I had one too, and I no longer have it.
I don't like it.
There's other pedals that do that a lot better.
Not only that, there's something with the Wampler pedals where his knobs are always moving around when I'm at a gig.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Like my compressor, all of a sudden I'm like, wait, why am I? And I have to turn the volume back up. It like moves on me. It's too loose. I got it. Someone told me there's something I can put on it. I have to figure it out.
Oh, I know what they're talking about. Yeah, it's basically you put like a rubber washer.
Yes. Exactly.
Off, put a rubber washer in, and yeah.
No, it's interesting. There's so many good pedals out there and so much good stuff, and you could buy stuff cheaply, or you can get expensive stuff, and all of it's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I mean, you could find, like, you got that knockoff Timmy. How's that working out for you?
Knockoff Timmy for $40 Canadian all day long.
Yeah.
Dave, I took it off my board. So I took it off my board and I got a Marshall Governor 2, right? And I took
Yep.
the Timmy off and I put the Marshall Governor 2 on. And I went to one rehearsal and I was using because before I was using that for my lighter overdrive.
Right.
And that thing just, it's like, you know what? I came home, put the friggin' K-line back on. It's just way, way better. It just,
oh, that's good. Yeah, I mean,
so good, man.
you can get so much stuff for a decent price, you know. And I mean, how much? I mean, it's crazy how much gear is out there.
Yeah,
and how much gear I want. I think I might, because I'm trying to downsize my pedal board. I may go with the Collider by Source Audio. It's a reverb and a delay combination pedal.
So that'll take care of. It'll save you one spot, but it's a double pedal, right?
It's a double pedal, but it'll take care of. For me, I could get rid of maybe 2 delays with it because it's programmable.
Oh, okay.
And my board has 2 delays and 2 reverbs.
Right, right.
So, and it does all the reverbs. It does ambient reverb and regular reverb. So I could literally use it for everything.
Right. Well, I just got a, I'm going to do a video on it. I'm going to call it the Tube Screamer Killer. I got this pedal called the Javelina, which is Lawrence Petrov's pedal.
Uh-huh.
Because I remember I talked to you about this, and I asked everybody, man, where do you know, what's going on with the Tube Screamer? I'm not getting enough of a volume boost, and I got it cranked, and it just didn't. I gave up, right? And I asked Lawrence about it, and he shot me a little demo in his place, and he put it behind a drive pedal, and he demonstrated that. I mean, I had as much boost as I wanted, and like the Tube Screamer, there's a little bit of hair on it too, right? So you get a little more sustain on the leads and that. So I got that pedal, and that pedal, because it's a boost and it's got a little bit of hair on it, my Spark booster, my TC electronic, that's out, and the Tube Screamer is out. So now I went from 12 pedals to 11 pedals because of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of knockoff Tube Screamers that are great. There's a Jam pedal out of Greece that I have. That's a great Tube Screamer knock. I think the Duelist by Kingtone is the best Tube Screamer that I've ever heard. And that's my favorite. If that's like my favorite go-to pedal. Like if I have like a small 6V6 amp with the Duelist as a pedal and a delay, I think I could do a whole bunch of shows with it.
You know what I'm thinking of doing is Line 6 is putting out a new product. They showed it at NAMM, and it should be, I'm hoping I can get my hands on it in March. It's called the Pod Go. It's basically, you know, the Line 6, the Helix, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine the Helix, but shrunk down to, you know, like less than half the size of it. Not as much functionality, but all the same sample sounds are in there, and it's got an expression pedal, which I have to have because I need a wah, right? I'm gonna see if I can take that thing, and if I can program all the sounds that I need for the course of a gig, program it into that, and just see if I can do a whole show with that and carry this little thing around as opposed to the pedal board. And
I think you're better off getting the TC electronic one.
Oh, no.
Have you seen this one?
Yeah, no. There's no drives on that.
Of course there is.
No, it's
all.
all.
What are you talking about? No, it's every pedal they've ever made.
I thought it was all time-based shit like chorus.
No,
imagine.
It's every pedal they make, and you can spin the dial and put the pedal wherever you want at 5 spots.
But I'll only have 5 sounds then.
How many pedals using at once?
Yeah, but I can't. Can I program?
Yes.
Like,
yes. So you can go to another song and then have 5 different pedals.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going. I didn't know that had functionality.
Thing's pretty good.
Really, eh?
What is the name of that thing? Does anybody know the name?
Plethora. It's called a Plethora.
Plethora X5.
Got it.
Tone Boner says no drives. That doesn't make any sense. I thought it had drives. Hold on.
On it.
What?
I didn't think there were any drives on it.
Hold on. Let me
It's all their
look.
time-based stuff. It's reverbs, delays.
No. Plethora X5. Does someone have one?
I saw that.
Let's see. It gives you 127 different pedals, it says.
Yeah, it's got all the different tone prints too, right?
Yeah, hold on. Well, what is this red? That's not a drive? Hold on.
Hall of Fame, probably. They're red.
No. When you
Tom Harhay says no drives. Tone Boner is saying unless they add it later, because it's due out later this year.
store up to 100. Okay, 127 custom.
Tone Boner says no boost.
No boost.
Yeah. I know I looked at it and it didn't fit the bill. And I'm pretty sure it's because I didn't see any drives on it. And I mean, TC makes a few drives. They make the Mojo. They make the Dark Matter. Neither one.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
They're not horrible.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to go.
All right. So yeah. Well, I mean, if you had that and you put a couple of pedals in front of it, I thought this thing would even have their compressor in it.
It doesn't?
I would just imagine. I mean, but to me, that would pipeline, tremolo, harmony, chorus.
Yeah, from what I saw, the Pod Go is the closest thing that might work for me. Actually, I'm pretty much decided I'm going to buy one, and I'm going to see if I can get it to do what I want. And if it does, I keep it. If not, I take it back. I got 30 days.
Oh, okay. See, I thought this thing was all their pedals.
No, man, it's not.
That's a foolish thing.
Yeah. So what you would do, Dave, is you would take that, you'd put that in your effects loop, right?
Wait, it's got a British style cab simulator, but it doesn't have gain.
Yeah. Tom Harhigh, can I get a Krell bar? Hey, there's Bobby Lopes. Bobby Lopes suggesting the head rush. I like the side. I like the footprint too because it's small. Like the bars you play, you probably got half decent size stages. I mean, you got
size stages. Are you kidding me? They put me right next to the fryer in the kitchen.
Because I play some pretty tiny little, and I want.
In the middle of the song, I have somebody in the kitchen yelling at me, "Hey, can you drop the fries?" I'm like, "Yeah, hold on."
Because some places I play, if I take a step back, I'm my knees, my back of my legs are touching my amp, and I take a step forward, I'm falling off. It's like, so I want a tiny footprint. That's why I'm looking at this thing.
We used to play places, and I'd be like, "Man, these people are watching us so intently," and then I'm like, "Oh yeah, the game's on behind my head."
Yeah.
It's so true. We play a place. It's a pretty good. I mean, it doesn't have a stage, but we play. Yeah, exactly. Put some funk on that.
Yeah. Well, my joke is when people tell me, "Oh, why don't you just run it to the line of the front of the house?" So I go, "The front of the house, that's a parking lot."
Right. Oh yeah, yeah. No, it's some places we play. It's some are better than others. Yeah. Let's put it this way. We went and played a place maybe 3 weeks ago, and the drummer was facing the direction, like facing in the corner. And I said to the person who ran the bar, I'm like, "Why is my drummer facing that way? We're not playing that way." He's like, "No, that's the way the owner wants you to set up." I'm like, "Yeah. Well, we got 5 guys, and he can barely fit in there by himself. How do you put 5 guys against the wall?" The guy scratching his head going, "I guess we hasn't thought about that." I go, "What do you think? It's a drummer and that's it?" They ended up moving us like the long wall, and we fill up the long wall. We got 5 guys, 2 keyboards. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's nuts.
That's a lot, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Usually they stick the drummer in the corner because they figure it eats up less space, right? Or some places.
I don't know what they were thinking.
Some places we play too. The setup is ridiculous. They have the stage, and then literally 10 feet in front of the stage is the bar.
Hey, Dan, New Jersey.
Side of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've played it all.
the friggin' people at the bar, they're getting blasted, and then nobody can hear the behind
Yeah.
them.
I mean, some of the places they're not set up for it and they want to do it, and God bless them for wanting to support that kind of thing. But
Yeah. Well,
it's
how about this, Dave? This, you show up, there's no stage, there's nothing. And you ask, well, where does the band usually set up? And they'll go, they point to a wall. And there's like one outlet. And you're going to run all your gear off of one outlet.
that's happened to us recently.
That's ridiculous, man. Yeah.
Hold on,
That's some of the shenanigans that happen at some of these places. They don't think ahead, or they want the band, but they don't plan for it. It's like an afterthought.
Right.
This one place I played. So I'm trying to see if I can describe this to you. So here's the front door, right? Where people, and then there's all these tables, and then there's the bar, and then the stage is way over at this end. So you're literally playing towards a wall, and everybody is like sitting this way. So they have a stage, but they have their own PA speakers and everything, and they're just facing a wall, and everybody's like to the left of you.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've done shows where we're in a separate room, and the bar's in another room, and no one's coming into the room we're in.
Yeah, I've had
it's like, why don't they just have us play in the closet?
I've had that.
Right? They open up the door and I'm sitting there like, supplies. It's a Weird Al Yankovic joke.
Or the worst one is they got you set up where people got to walk past you to get to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my buddy does a gig like that where you have to actually get on, like walk through the band to get to the restroom.
I've had that happen too. Oh my god.
Isn't that great? Because then you're sitting there playing guitar going, you got to take a dump? You just embarrass everyone that walks by you.
Not to mention the smell afterwards.
Right, yeah, exactly. All right, everybody, clear the path. Someone's got to take a dump. Let's go. I'm not the kind of guy who likes to play. Someone's taking a dump. Big brother. People are like, what the hell has this turned into?
Yeah. Oh, this is reality, man. This is reality.
Oh, no, it's true. It's unbelievable. I tell you, in the there was this one Chinese place we used to play. The woman was like, don't put your mixing board on the table. Put it on the floor. I'm like, what?
What?
She was just nuts. I'm like, are you okay? Like, something wrong with you? People are just nuts. I can't even go into the situations of where it's just laughable. Just laughable.
Yeah.
So I played a place, and the guy, my buddy calls me up, and he's like, can you play a private party for my wife's 50th? And he gives me the day, and I said, I'm already booked that day, but I'm booked at this bar near you. Book out their, they have a private room.
Right.
Book out their private room. It's right there. You keep the doors open, and you get the band.
Right.
So he does it. We have about 60 people in the front. He's got like 60 people in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Bartender at the end of the night says to me, who's the manager, kind of a slow night for you tonight. Only 60 people, because we usually do 100. I said, only 60 people. I go, what do you think that private party's for? He's like, oh, they were booked here before you. My buddy walks up and he's like, bullshit. I booked it because he's here. And the guy was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, they were trying to just like, how they at the end of the night, they want to nickel and dime you, make you feel bad for asking for money.
Oh, we lost money.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah.
We played this one place, and it was just a bad night right to begin with. The place was not a very popular place. They were just trying bands and whatever. And we had an agreed fee and so on, right? And then at the end of the night, the lady who owns the place comes over and starts complaining about the people that were there. The people that were there stayed, so we were doing the job. Complaining about, well, those people there, they just drank water all night, and these ones and this and that, and they didn't order any food and this and that, and like making us feel bad, and then saying, well, so pay us less.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to go back there like a month or two later, right? And you know what? We all stuck to our guns. We're like, no, we're not going to take less. You're going to pay us what we agreed.
Right.
Well, then I'm not going to book you anymore. I was like, we don't want to come back.
Right.
Problem.
Yeah. Oh, you know, it's tough. I had a club that actually the first time we played there, we brought like literally over 100 people. There were 4 people at the bar who I didn't recognize. And they were just sitting talking amongst themselves. I had no idea who they were.
Right.
At the end of the night, the manager was like, yeah, the regulars thought you guys were kind of loud. I'm like, you think I give a fuck about those 4 people that I have no everybody else is here is for me. Like, are you nuts?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when I was just like, yeah, shut up and pay me. That's when I told my Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Oh, money's too tight? Fuck you, pay me. Oh,
Yeah.
you can't pay this? Fuck you, you know.
Yeah. Well, I was telling you before we started, we had a birthday party that we were supposed to play at the end of March. It was the lady who was having the birthday requested us. So they called the place up. I said, we're going to have a party on this night. It was 40 people. So they were going to have at least 40 people that night. And it's a small place. 40 people kind of fills it already. You know, we're going to have the band and this and that, whatever. And it was all done. And then we get a call this week. The bar like told them, call the people that we you know, and basically cancel their booking. No, they must have something else going on, and cancel the party. So now she's scrambling for another bar to host this birthday party and have us and trying to do it quick before we get booked because now we have an available right. You know, like that's just not cool, man. You know. Anyways.
All right, there's all kinds of stuff. I will say this: in Los Angeles, when I played, the Whiskey a Go Go at least 25 times. The Dragonfly, the Viper Room, the Troubadour. I mean, I've played every one of those places, and the sound systems there are pretty great. The Troubadour was my absolute favorite place to play because you get on stage, and I'm using my dual rectifier half stack.
Right.
You sit and play, and I can talk to everybody on the stage. Like the volume on the stage is nothing, but the PA is just crushing out there. It's super loud. And it's a great venue to play. And the Whiskey's a fun place to play. I used to CBGB's in New York City was a fun place. I mean, some of the classic places have nice sound systems, but for the most part, if you go in and you're playing a restaurant, I mean, I'd rather do the acoustic gig. It's just easier, funner. People can call off songs, and I can just sit and play songs off the top of my head, and it's a blast. It's much more like, and people get more involved when there's acoustic.
Yeah, it's more laid back, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Woody, how are you? Welcome. All right. I think we're going to start wrapping this up. Dave, if you wanted to, if you want to mention, folks, by the way, I've been rude. I haven't mentioned Dave's channel. If you're not subbed, I have his link below. I also have his link up in the cards if you want to sub Dave's channel. So Dave, for people who are not familiar with your channel, you want to
Sure. I just, I've been doing Guitar Talk, and Guitar Talk is going to change, as I said. I'm going to do, we just ended this season because once I started doing it as a podcast that goes on, which John and I did 15 episodes on the podcast, that John just is getting too busy right now with work, and he has his 2 kids. And so I'll be getting different industry people or other people to host with me. So next month I'll have a different host, and that'll go on for like 15 to 20 episodes, and then we'll change that up. Every Tuesday I post the Overlooked Albums, which is an album that I think that people need to spend more time listening to or take a look at. On Thursdays, I started a new show called One on One. That's the one you saw with Christina Wells this week. Week, I posted a an interview with Cameron Igo, who plays in a band here that's the youngest band to play the Levitate Festival. And he's a really good drummer and up and coming. For next week, I've already done it. It's next week is going to be an interview with Joey Allen from Warrant, and basically talking about what they're doing and what they've got coming up, because they're hitting the 30th anniversary of Cherry Pie album. And so every week I'll have a different interview one-on-one to talk to people. I know at some point I'm going to have John Bauman, who was Bowser from Sha Na Na.
Oh, cool.
We worked on a project together, and he reached out, and we want to get on here and talk about what he's doing and just, stuff that we did. And very funny. When I went to, we were working on a record way back, and we went to dinner, and everyone was talking about Sha Na Na, and I was pretty quiet. He asked me if I had any questions for him. And I was like, yeah, when you were on Match Game, and he just thought it was the funniest thing that all I cared about was Super Password and Match Game. But yeah, so I'll have a different guest every week on that. And I'm going to make some calls to some other people to get them on. And then I go live every now and then, and I do a lot of lessons on songs. And if there's a song you want me to do a lesson on, just comment on one of my videos and let me know. I try to do them on songs that I already play, like that are nostalgic and that people like. But if there's like a solo or anything, I do all that stuff too. I mean, it's whatever.
Dave taught me how to play the solo to just what I needed. There was one bit at the end. He showed me the lick. Wait, and actually I'm playing that on Saturday night. That song,
nice.
that solo is still, oh my God, that's like the hardest solo I play. And he also helped me with that Knack song, Good Girls.
Good Girls Don't.
Yeah. So I can attest to that. Okay, so
I'll send you my set list if there's anything else that you guys are doing in there.
Yeah. Oh no, if I'm stuck on something, I'll definitely hit you up. So I want to thank Dave for coming on. I want to thank everybody for being in the chat. We had some great questions in here. I want to thank everybody for participating. Folks, we got a fantastic YouTube community here. Let's keep it growing. Let's keep it positive. I have a gig on Saturday. I will probably be doing an after gig thing on Sunday. I haven't done one of those in a long time because I haven't done a gig since January, but I'll probably be doing an after gig thing on Sunday. And next, a week from today, fingers crossed, I may be having Josh from Sheptone Pickups on the show. So fingers crossed, because the guest thing is not always easy. So anyway.
Oh no, it's brutal. It's hard because you gotta track him down and get him on a time. And Krellbar is going to be changing out the tubes to his laundry basket, which is good. Hey, Dan of New Jersey, thanks. And Dave Ennis, how are you? Good to see you guys. Everybody, thanks so much. RJ and Terry Himes, Tom Harhigh, which I don't see anymore. Hobo Roadie. Upside Down, you're turning me.
All right, folks.
Respectively.
Have a great evening. Have a great weekend. And hopefully we'll catch you Sunday.
Thanks, Headstock.
All right. Cheers, everybody.
Very good.